Denied EB-1A. Years of extraordinary work ruined by bad letters. Imagine that. Reference letters. We're discussing them, why they matter, where they matter, and why they're not some all-powerful get-out-of-jail-free card, despite what some people believe. I'm Stefan Akorli, a U.S. immigration attorney, and I'm here to do for you what so many people have done for me throughout the years, and that is to provide important information that could maybe change a life or two. Now, this video just started, but if you feel like you're losing your mind, or simply want someone else to handle immigration madness, or have a unique situation, or just want to move speedily, my contact information is in the description. Reference letters. A common source of disappointment. Sometimes they don't help. Sometimes they actively sabotage. So where, why, how to use reference letters to prove that you satisfy 3 of 10 EB-1A criteria, which is typically required to get the EB-1A classification. These 10 criteria. They're much more nuanced than they look. And to be honest, they're much more nuanced than people knee-deep in the EB-1A petition process often think they are or want them to be. Why reference letters matter. When crafted well and strategically, reference letters can provide context for or explain your achievements, highlight your impact, demonstrate the recognition of your work, emphasize what sets you apart from others in your organization or in your field, validate your standing in your field, preemptively address weaknesses, showcase your national or international recognition, provide comparative analysis, and humanize you. They can do a lot. Here is where they might play a role in establishing 3 of the 10 EB-1A regulatory criteria. Criteria 1. No, wait. You may notice that I'm not going to be mentioning all 10 criteria. The unmentioned criteria, we'll get to them for good reason later. Criteria 1. Evidence of receipt of lesser nationally or internationally recognized prizes or awards for excellence. Here, a well-drafted reference letter or letters from recognized experts in the field might be profitably used to explain how and why the award is recognized nationally or internationally in your field. A reference letter might also prove useful by providing context, including the award selection criteria and competitive nature and the like. If the documentation doesn't clearly demonstrate the rigorous standards used in giving out the award, well, a reference letter could help. Group awards. If a group was the recipient of the prize or award, then the evidence must show that the basis for the award or prize can be directly attributed to you. A letter can help do that. A letter from the awarding entities, for example. Criteria 5. Evidence of your original scientific, scholarly, artistic, athletic, or business-related contributions of major significance to the field. Reference letters hugely helpful here because USCIS, not experts. They need to be told about your contributions in detail. A well-formed letter from a credible writer can point out how your work is not only original, but also of major significance in your field. A letter can explain in detail what makes your work special, or how it impacted later work in the field, or how it was commercialized. Moreover, these letters, the letters about the significance of your contributions, they often play a big role in the second part of the EB-1A extraordinary ability analysis, the part that you get to after you satisfy 3 of 10 regulatory criteria. But I'll save how reference letters can help there for another video. Criteria 8. Evidence of your performance of a leading or critical role in distinguished organizations. Reference letters, hugely helpful here. When you've held a critical role, a reference letter can provide detailed insight into the nature and the impact of your performance in that role. For this criterion, when it comes to having a critical role, here is what USCIS looks at, among other things. Whether you actually contributed in a way that is of significant importance to the organization's success or the success of a division or department within the organization. Letters from current or former executive officers with knowledge of your work and the significance of your performance, those letters can be hugely helpful here, at least when they're full of information that addresses how your performance in your role was critical. Comparable evidence. Not one of the 10 criteria, but it's important. USCIS provides the opportunity for you to submit comparable evidence if you establish that a particular criterion is not readily applicable to your occupation. Reference letters, a big help here. To show that a criterion is not readily applicable to your occupation, and to show that the evidence you submit is of comparable significance. Get the opinion of a distinguished or recognized member of your field. Laying the foundation to be able to use comparable evidence is necessary. It's required. And being able to use comparative evidence is a very important tool for some people. So, reference letters, important? Yes. But they're not all powerful, not in establishing that you meet 3 of 10 criteria. After all, there were 7 criteria that went unmentioned. And no, it has nothing to do with whether I'm lazy or not. I'm not. I didn't mention them for each criteria because letters are not a universal solution. People facing the EB-1A process without a lawyer often rely excessively on letters. Sometimes their cases consist of little meaningful material other than the letters. However, and this is a big however, reference letters can't stand alone. They require the company of actual documentary evidence. They need to align with some documentation. Their testimony should support or at least work in concert with what you're showing through more objective evidence. USCIS is fond of saying that the statute specifically requires extensive documentation in an EB-1A case. So for the regulatory criteria that I conveniently ignored in this video, these documents. Now, if you're facing a blank Word document while you're working on your EB-1A case, or pretending to understand immigration law, or have an unusual case, or simply want to move more swiftly through the process, contact me. My firm can help. And if this video somehow enriched your life today, share it with a friend and subscribe. More of this is coming.